Good morning. I got my Starbucks. Don't worry, it's just a light caramel apple. I wish it should have been tea. I should have been better about it and made a better choice, but I'm cold and so I splurged. At least it's a grande, right? Not a venti. Okay, wait, I want to sip. Today. So I talked yesterday about my cancer stuff, and I know that there were a few areas that popped up in my messages, the conversations I had, and not just in my messages, but also in my mind. I always try to watch these back and just see like where I'm at with them. So one of the things that I talked about yesterday was the cancer thing and how it attributed to me gaining all of this weight. And I one of the biggest questions that I've been asked, and legit to my face, people have asked me, why'd you let yourself go? Like, I just don't understand what happened to you. When did you give up and let yourself go? How ugly is that? Like, do you think that I chose this? Do you think that I just chose to just, not care physically? If you know, like, my history, my mom is a hippie, and she raised me on soy milk. As a little girl, I was drinking soy milk. When nobody drank soy milk, I remember my friends would come over for, like, sleepovers, and they would be like, we ate things like wheat germ and multigrain things in the 70s and 80s. Like, it was like unheard of. But again, in California, we do those kind of weird things. So fast forward a little bit, and people are ugly. I know, so ugly. But we'll let them be. And I love you too. You're gorgeous inside and out. Mwah! Okay. So physically, why'd you let yourself go? What happened to you that you just, like, whatever? And what I was going to say was, like, in my history, I worked in gyms for, like, how many years did I work in gyms? For those that remember, it was, like, a long time. It wasn't a short time. Like 3 years, 4 years, something like that. So I know what to do. Like, I physically know what to do. And don't think that I didn't do it. And it's crazy because when I first started gaining the weight, I was like, I gotta join. So let me back up. I physically worked in gyms, which meant I worked out in the gyms that I worked in. I didn't have to, like, join a gym because I worked in the gym. And then I learned how to, when I worked in the prisons and stuff, I grew a love of running. And so I would run a lot and do, in the morning, just get up and go running. And it's just one of the things that I did. And maybe not everybody knew that about me, but it's something that I used to enjoy doing. And then, as time went on, like, I remember, I moved to Phoenix, and it was like around the time that I started to gain the weight. And immediately I'm like, for the first time in my life, I have to join a gym. And the money was like crazy because they're like, $250 for this and, $30 a month for that. And I was just like, but whatever, I'm going to have to figure it out. So I joined a gym. I joined Bally's. And I had a girlfriend, and she's like, let's work out. Let's, like, start doing that all the time. And hi, Brittany. So I jumped in and I was like, yeah, let's do this. Let's work out. Let's whatever. And so me and her would go hardcore, like, all the time in the gym, working out. And then she stopped going. And so I was like, whatever, I'm going to do it by myself. And then I went to the doctor and my weight went up, and I'm gaining more weight and gaining more weight and gaining more weight. And it was like, like, how much more time can I put? So I started going to the gym, like, in the morning before work, and then I would go to work, and I would leave work and go back to the gym after I made dinner for the kids. I'd feed them and go back to the gym and work out. And then I would, come home, and my kid's dad was like, what are you doing? Like, you're doing a lot. Like, you're doing too much. And I was just like, it's just something I have to do because I'm gaining all this weight and and he wouldn't tell me. See, that's the thing. Like, I would say, like, did I gain weight? Am I gaining? Because I didn't see it happening. It happened so fast that I wasn't seeing the weight popping on my body. Hold on. Hi, T. this. I'm going to put this on YouTube. So for those that don't know, I have like a huge deaf following. I have a bunch of friends that are deaf. And I haven't said this publicly to you guys yet, but I'm going to tell T. I put this on YouTube so that it is transcribed, so that my words are at the bottom of the screen. But for those that care, I put that there. But I'll let her know privately because she's deaf. But anyways, so I'm working out and I'm doing those things where, you know, I'm working out like 2 times a day actually at that point. And I'm gaining weight. And I tried everything. So then one day I was talking to a friend of mine after the surgery, and after like a bunch of stuff went on, I ended up having my gallbladder removed, and that contributed to a bunch of stuff. And then I was just having all these problems. And I know everybody says like, don't go paleo, don't do this, don't do that. But for me, paleo didn't mean bacon and, you know, crap loads of fat. That's not how I did it. I think for me, paleo was more of a clean eating idea, because I don't tolerate like heavy meats very well. So I do a lot of like lean meats and lean proteins, and just, you know, eliminating sugar as much as possible, and like only sticking to some natural sugars, not all natural sugars. And what else did I do? Just lots of veggies and like healthy, you know, like olive oil or lemon juice on my salads, or maybe some sesame oil, things like that. And I definitely lost a ton of weight. I think it was like 48 pounds. It was about 48 pounds. And then I moved to Washington. And I remember when I moved here, I was like, oh, I'll keep it up. But I didn't keep it up. And that's the real truth. I gave up the gym. I gave up eating properly. I gave up everything. And I have gained. And then my thyroid stuff went bad. And I gained some more. And then I just got to a point where it's like, this is ridiculous. Like, at what point do you take control of that? And yesterday I was kind of talking about, I was calling myself fat and saying things like that. But I when I use words like that, I don't look at it as a negative thing. I look at it as me being honest with me. And if I offended somebody, I'm sorry about that. It really wasn't about me offending you, because again, I'm talking about me. But I've learned over my life that when I make the most excuses, or when I allow things to offend me, it's because there's something in me that gets shifted, or something in me is like, hey, you need to pay attention to that. And I don't want to, like, I'm not prepared to, or I'm not ready to. So I just put up a brick wall and don't feel like dealing with it. Like, whatever. If somebody tells me, hey, you know, you could probably incorporate some more fitness into your life, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm already busy, I already have too much. It's because, and I'm offended by their statement. They're trying to help me, and I understand that maybe it's not received the way it needs to be received, or whatever the case may be, but by reevaluating my own life, they're right. I mean, like, there are things I could be doing. I know in the past, my successful days and my successful years have been, or I should say my most successful years and days have been when I'm giving it 100% and the hustle is real. Like, if I'm hustling and I'm doing what I need to do, then I don't have time for garbage. I don't have drama. The drama goes away. My body starts to change. Things mentally start to change. And I promise you, to anybody and everybody, if you are working out, your mental stuff quickly goes. Trust me. You will get your mind right really quick by fixing your body. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Like, it's one of those things, like, when we do like I have a life coach, for those that don't know, and I had a life coach. And while working through those things, it was mental first. We're first talking about, the first thing she talked to me about was, how's your sleep? Are you getting 8 hours of sleep? 7 to 8 hours of sleep? 6 to 8 hours of sleep? Are you working out? Are you doing anything? Are you getting outside, getting fresh air? Are you eating fresh vegetables and raw? Like, raw things are imperative. People don't realize how important it is to eat raw things. You have to eat raw things every single day. And raw things help fight things like cancer. So it's like, I mean, I'm not a a health guru or a nutritionist or anything like that. And so I'm not going to sit here and try to force feed that kind of stuff to anybody. But I'm definitely telling you that for me in my life, these are the things that have changed and shaped me. And so over the next few months, you're going to see more of that, because that's kind of where I'm headed back to, because I'm not comfortable. There's nothing about me that's comfortable in this skin. And if I have to fight like hell to get out of this, listen, I love myself for who I am. I feel like I'm the sexiest I've ever been. I'm not even going to lie. I don't care what people say about a fat body or a fat suit. I'm sexy, and I will own that. And I don't care. I don't care what you think. I know what I know. So that's just where I'm at. I will hold that. I will hold on to who I am and stay true to who I am to the end of my life. That part will not change. But I love that God gives us the ability to choose. We choose. You choose life or death in the power of the tongue. You choose life or death by how you choose to live your life. I heard a pastor once say recently that the saddest funeral he ever hosts is the one of somebody who physically let themselves, didn't change anything about themselves physically. So people who die of a heart attack because they didn't, and I understand. I get it. We have babies, our bodies change over the years. Health things happen and we have to fight diseases, and yeah, the fight is real. I know. Trust me, I know. I know the fight is real. And I'm not against or above fighting. I know people suffer from lupus and fibromyalgia and things like I have arthritis in all of the joints. I'm not even going to claim that anymore, but the doctors have diagnosed me with arthritis in all joints of my body. There are things that prevent us from doing the things, but it doesn't mean you stop. It doesn't mean you give up. You just roll over and say, okay, well, I'm just going to be, I don't have a thyroid. You need your thyroid to lose weight because it runs and regulates your metabolism. I don't have a metabolism right now, you guys, at all. So I could eat a salad and gain 5 pounds really easy. Trust me. I have to work with my doctors very closely to lose weight. I have to do those things. But guess what? That's what I'm willing to do if it means that I can get my health back, and and by health, I mean, I'm not comfortable in this skin right now. I mean, literally, I have to breathe certain ways to bend over to to tie my shoes. That's the truth. That's the ugly truth. There's things that you go to do physically when you get to my size and bigger where you just can't physically do things in a way that you naturally should be able to do them. And that's the part that sucks. That's the part that I feel like, come on, we have to get up and we have to fight for who we are. We have to fight for the person that we know is deep inside. I am not going to sit back and allow my future to be cut short because of fat on my organs. I'm not. And maybe that's the case and how I'll be ended in this world. But guess what? I'm going to fight like hell to avoid that. I'm going to fight. And I feel that, people, again, back to the whole, well, you're so strong. I promise you I'm going to complain. I'm going to gripe. I'm going to moan. I already know. My body hurts. I'm tired. But my mental status and my physical status forced me to have to do these things. I have some ideas and things that I'd like to try and some avenues I'd like to explore. And maybe they're not for everybody, but maybe they are. Maybe one day I'll share them with you. But as of right now, I just don't think that we should give up when life gets hard. I've never been that person. The one thing that I'm most grateful for that God gave me was the ability to not lose hope, to not lose heart, and to constantly keep fighting. Because I promise you, had I done any of those things, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I'd be wrapped around that tree that I tried to use to kill myself. I would have been still in the marriage where I was being physically, mentally abused. I would be, whatever the case may be, in a bunch of places because I wouldn't have valued myself enough to quit and get out of the crazy that I was in. I don't want any of my friends or anybody I know to, or even anybody within the sound of my voice, to lose heart of who they are, to where they're not fighting for them. There is an inner us in every single one of us. There's a little core of a person, a little being or soul that begs to fulfill its purpose. It's here for a reason. And we have to exercise that in every way, shape, and form. That's spiritually, mentally, physically, right? We have to get up and do some things. So my testimony is always going to be part of me fighting for my health, fighting for my physicality. I also kind of want to talk on like the body shaming stuff, because I know when I was 140 pounds, I thought it was fat. And I have friends, I would like be one of those people like in White Chicks, you know, or make my little fold that I could grab, touch each other. Couldn't even grab anything, but I'd try. I'm so fat. Look at, I'd force a fat roll. Like, look at it was disgusting. But I wish I was as fat as I was when I first thought that I thought I was fat. I wish I was that fat. I wasn't fat. My kids have struggled with their bodies. My son is like a toothpick, and he'll get thicker and go, no, Mom, I got to work out. I got to lose weight. And boom, he goes hard and loses it and he's cut. My daughters struggle, they struggle with me. And that for me is the hardest part, because I'm their representation. So they're looking to me and they're gaining. And I don't like that at all. I think that they're my first audience. They're my first ministry. They're my first responsibility. So be prepared to see Hooks Girls change, because the Hooks Girls are going to be losing some weight in the next year. Also, like, we have a huge mission trip coming up next summer, and I'm not going to talk about that too much here, but I'm just sharing, I want to be 100% when I go help people. I want to 100% physically be the best that I can possibly be by the time I get in the streets of LA, and physically serve others. That's just something that's important to me. And I don't know, I mean, I don't want this to be like a weight loss thing, but because it's not about weight loss. It's about being physically fit or physically well. I know like people who are bigger people who work out like crazy and are more fit than some skinny people. And that's a reality. Like that girl, what's that girl? The dancer girl in like North Carolina or South Carolina or something. She has a show, My Fabulous Big Fat Life, or Fabulous something fat Big Life or something. She's on TLC and she like does dancing. That girl can dance, and she can do stuff and be, going for long periods of time. I'd be like, I can't breathe, but she's fit. She's capable of doing things physically that a lot of skinny people can't do. She has endurance and capabilities of doing things that a lot of skinny people can't do. So I know that there are things out there like PCOS and other things that prevent people from just dropping the weight. This isn't a weight thing. I promise it's not a weight thing. It's a how you feel thing. And if you feel you're good, great. I'm down here right now at Green Lake again, and I'm watching people running there. I guess some race just happened, and there's a bunch of people running, and sometimes I'm like, whoa, they're really skinny, or those are too skinny, or, oh, that girl, she could, whatever. But you know what? Why do people knock people like that? Why are we talking about each other? I do it. I know I do it, and I know people do it to me. I see, when you see a big person in the gym, they're there because they need to be there. It's like, it's not the time to make fun of them, right? I don't know. I just think that we have to like be kinder to ourselves, be kinder to each other, be kinder to, everybody. Period. We have to speak kinder to ourselves. We have to act kinder to ourselves. We have to treat our bodies like the vessels that they are. And they're machines. They're capable of handling a lot more than we give them credit for it. And so, yeah, I think in order to be our best self, we have to focus on all things, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So, my physical side of my testimony has been a testament it's definitely been a testament. I have been able to endure a lot physically. It isn't easy, as any mother knows, to carry children. It isn't easy to make babies. Sometimes it's hard for people. And there's a lot of emotional stuff that goes into that, hormonal stuff that goes into that. That all side of that is huge. Our bodies go through hell every time we have a baby. We go through every form of physical, mental, hormonal, everything. It's like a surge of hormones to come in and a surge of hormones to go out. We gain a bunch of hair, we lose a bunch of hair, crazy stuff happens when we get pregnant. But we milk production, that's another crazy phenomenon I don't even get, but I breastfed my babies, and that's work, more work. But then to physically be sick and fight and win. I won. Like, I know there are people who don't, but I won, and I'm proud of the fact that I won, and it's taken a lot of me to get over the survivor's guilt, to, really get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm good. So, I'm going to end this today because I'm going to go work now, but I definitely just wanted to, touch bases with you guys and just let you know, physically, you got this. Let's get up and get moving together and do stuff, and just continue to see the muscle that our body is that's capable of sustaining us here on this earth. I want you around for a long time, just like I want to be around for a long time. And my pastor kind of touched bases. I knew I was going to talk about this today anyways, but it's funny because my pastor talked about it, and yeah, I have an assignment to do, and so I kind of need to be here for that. And you have an assignment to do, and you need to be here for that. And I want you to be here for that. So I just want to kind of touch on that a little bit. I didn't really go into the body shaming stuff like I really wanted to, but that's okay. That's okay. You guys have a blessed Sunday. Enjoy the sun if it's sunny where you are, or enjoy the gloom if you're in gloomy Seattle. It's kind of not cute here, but whatever. Some people like it. Have a great day. Bye.